Yo, what up, everyone? It is 3:42 p.m. Friday, October 31st. Just wanted to get on here and do a little video real quick, nothing too long. I normally actually have never done a video like this. Not normally, I've never done a recap video like this, but I just go over these trades at the end of the month every month, and as you can see, I kind of like track all my data. So I would go ahead and do this on my own, normally on a Saturday morning or a Friday evening, just to go over the month and see, what I did good, what I did bad. And I know a lot of traders get on the internet and, do something like this when they're having record months and kind of like post their wins and highlight reels. So I specifically wanted to do it and start this, something I've always wanted to do. But I wanted to start it on a month like this where I feel like a lot of mistakes. It wasn't like a record month. It wasn't a highlight career month or anything like that. So I figured it would be a good time to kind of just, show a little vulnerability and get on here and just go over a couple small things real quick. So basically, this is my whole month. As you can see, like I said, I track all my data. I go in at the end of every trade and I write, little mental notes, what I'm doing. As you can see here, there's a lot of self-sabotage in terms of the comments, but I'll go over those things too because I definitely feel like this month had a lot of opportunity and I definitely did not capitalize fully. I'm a long bias trader. I have started to dabble in some shorts, but I really am just, primarily long biased. I mean, most of my trades are long. This month, I've dabbled in a few shorts, and I would take some shorts via puts before that were like super obvious on some bigger stocks, obviously not super small cap stocks, but yeah. So this month, to get into it, I basically have gone ahead and made $10,000, which isn't anything crazy. I actually made $18,000, but I gave back 8.5, which sucks. So I ended up with 10 grand. Honestly, of this 8.5, I would say like 6,000 of that was avoidable, was preventable, was stupid decisions, impulsive trades, chasing things. Now that I've started shorting a bit, getting chopped up, fighting stocks, a lot of shit that I haven't done for years, stupid mistakes. I've been trading for like 5 years now. Never really had a mentor, never had a mentor at all. Been in a couple chat rooms here and there, but never anything that I stayed in for too long. I just have been doing this on my own. So I'm still growing. I'm still learning as a trader. I still do as much research and work that I can possibly, and I learn from people from afar, but I'm not in anyone's room or anything like that. So to make $10,000 is not anything crazy in this game at all. But right now I'm still only risking really small. I'm not in a rush to make $100 million or anything like that, which a lot of traders are into. I am just trying to really perfect this craft, especially as I get into shorting. I just really need to get myself in check. That's been the biggest issue for me with trading is just getting myself in check. Controlling my emotions and learning to really have the discipline to stick to a plan that I make a plan and stick to it. So to make $10,000 with my risk of only being 250, sometimes will be 500, I think is pretty good still. I mean, I've definitely made a lot more than $10,000 in months, but this is still at a 250 risk is like, if my numbers are right, it's like a 40R return, which is 40R is amazing. Even at 500, this is still a 20R return for the month. So as I feel a lot more confident, little things have shaken me up a bit these last couple years. So I haven't been super eager to put risk to the max. I've definitely risked a lot more, or not a lot more, but I have risked more in my career, in my past. But when my trading didn't feel super consistent, I always like to pull it back and then just try and, restructure myself. So going forward right now, this month, it was only a 250 risk, 500 max on setups that I felt were, superb. I had conviction in, A plus, however you want to say it. And as you can see here, I only won about 43%. This was a much higher win rate, but a lot of stupid trades, a lot of fighting things, a lot of just no specific setups and just gambling. It'll be just straight up. It was just stupid shit going on with me. As you can see here, like a day like 2 days ago, 13 trades, 6 trades yesterday, getting chopped around, trying to short Lumen because I was convicted on this thesis I had, and the thesis was absolutely spot on, but my timing was off. You can see the days that I lose the most money are typically the days that I trade more than I should be. I mean, 8 trades, 7 trades, 13 trades, 6 trades. I have no business trading that much. You see on my good days, 4 trades, $1,500. 6 trades, okay, a bit more, but $780. 4 trades, $4,000. 1 trade, $2,300. 2 trades, $3,000. Like that is a lot more on the scope of how I like to trade. So anything where there's multiple days, multiple trades in a day, like let me show you here the last few days, and as you can see, I have labeled them as dumb. This is dumb as fuck. These are trades that are just so unnecessary. Like, I have no business taking these trades, and unfortunately you can see the last couple days there was a lot of that. Other than that, pretty much held it pretty down, stayed consistent. I really started this month off really good, and then during the middle I kind of got chopped around from this midweek, and then I was just like this 4 days here. I went on a 4-day drawdown, and it kind of just messed me up mentally. And that led to a lot of bad trading. As you can see, these 2 weeks were terrible, -600, and then only making $98 here, even though had, a decent day here and there. And that just goes back to me trying to, stick to the script, man. I make the plan, I got to stick to the plan and stick with it. Stay consistent and stop doing dumb shit, chasing bullshit, fighting bullshit, and rookie mistakes, man. So with that being said, I just want to go over like 1 or 2 trades real quick, just to show kind of where my head's at with what I was thinking earlier on these trades and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and pull up. I'm going to pull up DFLI. This was a stock I took earlier in the month. It was a nice little return. I made 32% on this breakout. And as you can see on the daily chart here, basically this is, some volume came in and this stock started to go on and move. So it went on a nice couple days run. It set a top. It then proceeded to pull back. And then on a day with volume, which actually, trumped both of the other volume days, it trumped the day where it set the top. This thing had a strong move and broke out. So I like to keep an eye on stuff like that. I like to keep a track of the runners and then kind of watch them to see how they formulate and if they can kind of follow certain patterns, like the Tim Sykes 7-step framework pattern. I just like stocks that follow the framework, especially small caps. And as you can see on this trade here, this was the breakout line here at about 67. So I actually went ahead and got in this at about 76 cents. And it kind of just had a clean trend. Volume started to come in, and I wrote it up, and I thought I did really good on it. I sold it in the afternoon. Let me see what time I sold it. I sold this in the morning, a little bit too early, and I sold it at about $1. And this thing ran all the way in after hours. As you can see, it went to like $1.40, $1.50 here, if I'm not mistaken. So I definitely sold that a little too early, but it was not a bad trade. Another breakout I want to go ahead and bring up real quick is Buru. Let's bring up the daily chart. Again, another small cap runner. It was on volume. It started to have a run. It then went ahead and set a top. It pulled back for only 1 day. So this is like what some people call a 3rd-day surge. But it is just pretty much a breakout. It set a top. It pulled back. It stayed underneath that for at least 1 day. And then on volume, it came and went and broke out. I did not too bad on this. Again, I made actually 75% on this trade, so I did really good on that, I would say. I didn't have crazy size on it, but it was a nice winner. I want to pull this back up. Let's see what we got here. I don't have, okay, ADAP again. So this is the same stock that, no, that's a different stock. I'm sorry. Okay, so on ADAP here, I would like to show you this. This is a stock. These are just multiple lines I have drawn out here, but originally I was buying it for this breakout. I actually swung this stock overnight. So I bought this stock on the 8th, 10-8, and I bought it here just because I had conviction on it based on how it was moving. Let's see if I can pull up the daily chart here. So this stock came up, set a top, and then it just kind of pulled back. And as you can see, like, it just kind of stuck around, man, this stock. And I always keep a track on like why stocks are, you know, not just dying, especially cheap small cap stocks. Like this stock, someone was holding it up. It was being held up for whatever reason it is, I don't know, but it stayed on my radar. And as you can see, the volume kind of just faded off. And then it had a day, which would be the 8th, where the volume just came back in. So on that day, I took a note of that, and what I did is I actually bought this here, which was damn near low a day. I got in this stock at about 16 cents, and because I wasn't really risking much, I got, you know, I didn't get filled all the shares that I wanted to buy because it kind of just ripped after. I wanted to get in and then kind of let it see if it would consolidate a bit. I wasn't too sure what it would do here, but as the volume came in, I just pretty much didn't add anymore, even though I said I was going to add at all of these lines for the massive breakout. So let's go back to the daily chart real quick. I just want to see something on this. So as you can see, I have the lines drawn here on the charts for previous breakouts. So at first, this 16.5 would be the breakout of this, because, you know, this was another top. This is a breakout within a breakout. This here also is another breakout. So those are the lines that I'm trying to show you on this intraday, that they kind of coincide. So this was that 1650. So here, when it was in the morning, even though it was kind of early in the morning, I went ahead and got in it in anticipation of it breaking this. I just thought I would get another chance to add here. So I only had 20,000 shares, and then I don't know why I didn't add on any of these breakouts like I said I would for this ultimate big breakout here. And I went ahead and swung this overnight. I ended up selling this. I was debating selling it here in after hours that afternoon, but I decided not to. I held it, and it actually kind of pulled in the morning, which, you know, could have shaken some people out. I held it all the way until another push here, and then I got out of it this morning. This is when I took this picture, because I actually got out of this stock at about 8:53 in the morning. So I didn't even hold it for the whole next day, but I did swing it overnight. So that was a good play for me. Let's see what else I got here for us. SLNH. I normally take a lot more pictures, but this month I did not. SLNH, this is a breakout that I lost on. This was a nice looking breakout, but I believe it was just choppy. I can't remember exactly what happened. Yes, this was a choppy stock. So this was the breakout level, and I bought this twice actually on this day, which was the 15th, and I got played on it both times. As you can see, I bought it and then it was running. It didn't quite do anything for me to sell it. And then it yanked, so I sold. I bought it again, and then it pulled again. And I don't remember what my risk was on this stock actually, but I sold them both and I took a loss. I lost about, let's see what I lost on that stock. I lost $200 and then another $100. So only $300 loss, which is not anything crazy, but it ended up working, which was very frustrating. I actually, now I remember, I had my stop set at low of day, so both times on this run when I bought it and it broke low of day, I got stopped out, and then again when I bought it, when it went through, I got stopped out again. So I got stopped out on this stock twice. Obviously tight risk, only about 1,000 shares each time, just given on how choppy it was. But I took 2 losses on it, only to see it the third time, and by the time here in the afternoon, I was not going to play it again. I already got chopped twice, and then of course it went ahead and moved, and, you know, even within that day made about $1 a share move, which is kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. Then I want to pull up, let's see here if I can pull up some other decent trades I had. So I actually played a swing on this for a breakout, which was, I made, you know, a decent amount of money on this. I played it multiple times here. So on the 15th, I was playing this stock. I was playing it for a breakout, and then it kind of gave me a nice push. And I did take a loss on it in between that. I like kind of held a core position, and then I was trading it in between, and I got a little chopped up. But I just thought that this stock would go to, like, you know, all-time highs. And I kind of got chopped around on it a little bit, but it was a decent winner for me. You know, I didn't get to sell it at the full top here. Let's see where I bought this stock at. Give me just a second. So I bought it at 1946, and then I sold it at 2096. So I made about 1,500 bucks on that. Let me just pull that up here just so I can show you on sound. I made about 1,500 bucks on it here. And then I believe I made some decent money on it again somewhere. I took a couple losses on it, as you can see. Sound here, 255, because I was just getting chopped around. And then I swear I had a bigger trade on it somewhere. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I'm losing my mind. This was before it went all crazy. Okay, let's see. Okay, and it was actually on the 10th. So I had a $15. That was my biggest trade on it, actually. My apologies. So I originally had this stock from down here in like the 15s, and then I sold it in the 1929. So that was a bigger winner for me. Also, I made about 3,000. Let's see. Let me pull it back up over here. On that original trade that I'm talking about. I got to get better at these videos. Like I said, this is my first time, so forgive me for being kind of all over the place. I made $3,300 on that, and then I made $1,500 on it. So not a bad ticker. 4,800 bucks on that. That was a nice nice play. But that's obviously the market was trending, and those swings were kind of intact. The whole market, that there was a bunch of runners, you know, kind of going hand in hand. So I was definitely playing on that momentum. Another trade I want to speak of is a short I took, which was an overextended gap up on BYND. This it would be this day here. I'm not sure why I can't go back on this chart. Let's see if I can go to the 22nd. This is, I don't know why this is in August. Let's go on August 22nd and see if it'll let me. I mean, October 22nd. Okay, so it's not showing me. Let's see. Can I do 1 minute? No. Okay, this is today. All right. Well, anyway, let's go to the daily chart on it. But basically, I went ahead and I shorted this stock on that day. I don't know why I don't have a picture of this. I might have it on my MacBook. That's probably why. And I'm not on my Mac. I'm on my PC. But anyway, this stock, you know, it was a monster mover. This stock went, you know, nuts. It went absolutely nuts. So I actually shorted this stock at, let's see where I shorted it at, 609. And I took it down to 339. I only had half size on it, but I did manage to make a decent profit on it. And that was like my real only, you know, big real short that was a pattern this month. Oh, I just went ahead and chopped that up. That is terrible. I'm all over the place, guys. Do forgive me. I'm just trying to see what else I can talk about. That was a decent runner. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and just bring this up here. And as you can see, there were days where I was just taking too many trades. This is a day where, like, I had lost on a stupid, like, trade that I shouldn't have even taken. And then I don't know why or how, but this just led to a lot of stupidity. Like on CIFR, I've been fighting that stock. I was just trying to swing the stock originally, then it was yanking, it pulled. So I was just in and out of it, too convicted that this stock had to go up. Then I started shorting it. I'm going to show you over here. I tried shorting it the last couple days. Like, as you can see, like, this is just all stupid scalping, stupid action here. Taking unnecessary full-size losses, full-size plus losses here. Just being completely on tilt later in the month. And it's just absolutely retarded to be doing stuff like that still in this day. The last trade I want to talk about, which also I got chopped up on yesterday by shorting it, was Lumen. I actually swung Lumen. And it had earnings yesterday, but anyway, the point of this was that I had swung Lumen for a couple of days, and I don't know why, but something possessed me to sell it when it was just still trending and still intact. So I bought this stock on, let's see, at 736, and I sold it at 870. For what reason, I am not sure. That stock then proceeded to go ahead and run to 1130 2 days later, and I had no need to get out of it. So then it came to the day, which was yesterday, and I'll pull it up here for you. Let's see. So let me just show you this. This stock was just trending up so beautifully, so beautifully. And I sold this stock at around here for no reason. I bought it down here and I sold it up here, 870s. It had shown me nothing to get out of it. I just woke up Monday morning and was like, that's enough. I'm going to get out of this. And then the stock went just trending all day that I got out. Pulled a little and after hours, trended and trended for 2 more days. Then came to yesterday. So let's pull it up on a 2-day here. Then yesterday, I talked about it in a video because I started a little 5K account challenge also. So I talked about it for that video that I did for that. But basically, I was convicted that this stock was, even though it wasn't up percentage-wise crazy, that it was extended. And I knew it had earnings, but it was the first day that this stock had gapped down. So I went ahead and got in, at about red to green, risking some form of a push, and it just pushed a little bit too much for me, and it was just a little stronger than I wanted. I ended up selling this stock, bought it at 11, sold it at 11.30. It hit 11.32. That was high of day, and I tried that twice, by the way. And then look at this stock. It had its earnings in after hours. So it proceeded to spike. And then look like it spiked a little bit here, right? Let's get to the day here. This was the day. It dropped its earnings. It spiked a little bit, but it never got back to high a day. And then it just unwinded all today. Just like all pre-market, and then obviously it's gone on a bounce here. But this would have been the trade that I was looking for yesterday, which I took. Let's see how many losses I took on it yesterday fighting it. Not too many, I don't believe, but Lumen, 1. Oh, wow. I traded this way too many times. See, I forgot how many times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I traded this stock 4 times, all for the first red day, and I took 2 full-size losses and then another full-size loss between the other bullshit. All fighting it. When I should have just gotten the stock, stuck to risk, or had a legitimate plan with a good risk level and just let it do its thing. And the thesis was right. And I wouldn't have held it until after hours for them to drop because I knew earnings was after hours and make this whole move. But I definitely would have got this, which was 11 to 10.30, 10.20, something, high 10.20s. That's 70, 80 cents. At 1,000 shares, that's $700-800. You know, that's not a bad little win for a short play. But anyway, those are just a couple of trades I wanted to go over. Like I said, this is just my first video recapping. I'll get better as I go. The main point of this was to really just, go over some things, hold myself accountable, and show that if you're new and or struggling, or even if you're an intermediate trader and you're obviously not one of the big dogs, you can still make decent money, man. I mean, I know people who don't make 10 grand at all in a month, and I'm making 10 grand trading from my house on a computer. So risking 250, making 10 grand, like I said in the beginning, that's 40R, man. Even risking 500, that's 20R. That is amazing, man. As you scale, as you can see on Twitter, I'm sure there's tons of people making crazy money. But the point of this is to lock the process down. Disappointing month for me with how I traded, not the profit. The profit is irrelevant to me. But the way that I traded, the mistakes that I made, the avoidable mistakes. I have no problem losing money on setups, on trades. But losing money on stupidity and over trading, and I can't even label these as a trade because they're just dumb. That is what really bothers me. That's what irks me. That's what made me, get on here and just put this out there to hold myself accountable, that I got to stop doing stupid shit like this. And I got to be more disciplined, man. Like I got to be better at holding myself to the standard and sticking to the plans that I do, that I make, and just having a trade plan and sticking to it. But this is the first of hopefully many recaps. Like I said, not the greatest month. A lot of mistakes. Gave a lot of money back. 43% win ratio. Other than that, not too crazy. We're going to get better. We're going to use this as fuel to be a lot more disciplined going into November. I got a feeling that, it's going to be a good little Q4. So I 1 month down in it already, 2 months left of it. So hopefully, for the Santa Claus rally and all that comes at the end of the year during these times, I'm better prepared, and I can take full advantage of that and not give back so much of my profit. Anyway, I just wanted to get on here and do that. I hope anyone finds a little value in this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.